J.K. Rowling is at it again, absolutely dunking on some people who, some activists, some trans activists that tried to epically own her by slightly moving some of her books around in the bookstore. Then has been going absolutely ham on, on the idea that, she's been in support of biological women. That's her big crime. You see these articles. I'm so sick of this. J.K. Rowling scolds Sky News for describing biological man as a woman. Well, yeah. I mean, have you noticed this? I don't know if these are like real or fake, but I've also noticed a lot of like court places and intake criminal records where like the person in the picture is clearly not white, but they describe them as white. Like, how about nobody's calling that out? But you see this, J.K. Rowling is lashed out. She sent a tweet for failing to make clear that a convict who did something terrible was in fact a biological male. I'm so sick of this stuff, Rowling wrote on Twitter on Monday, linking to a Sky News post that did not refer to the fact that Scarlett Blake is in fact a biological man. You see this? I'm so sick of this. This is not a woman. These are not our crimes. This tweet gets a community note, even though it gets 110,000 likes, something none of us will probably ever experience. They communicated Sky News, not her. Okay. Okay. Breaking. A woman who filmed herself blending a cat before ending it and then putting it in a blender has been locked up for life for, ending a man's life 4 months later. A woman. Of course, it gets a brutal community note. Scarlett Blake, the perpetrator, was born biologically male, but identifies as a woman. That's seriously unfeminine behavior, to be honest. I mean, yeah, a woman, you're fake news. This person will almost certainly go into women's prison. In the UK? Almost certainly. Almost like there's a mental illness or something. 2.2 thousand likes. Words matter. You see, I mean, I think it's pretty interesting it's pretty clear that a lot of these people are in agreement with her. Elon sorted out this ridiculous community note. Yeah, the community note is weird. It's like Scarlett Blake, the perpetrator, was born biologically male, but identifies as a woman. That's the same thing. It's a biological male. That's what it is. That community note is weird. It doesn't make any sense. So, of course, the media is having a meltdown about it. Sky News has been contacted for comment. The Comcast-owned news outlet's written story on Blake's sentencing notes that they are trans, but well down in the piece. Blake was jailed for life on Monday after watching Netflix documentary "Don't F with Cats," which spotlighted someone else. Apparently, Blake did something horrible to a cat, then blended it. Then went after Jorge Martin Coreno in July of 2021 as he walked home from a night out in Oxford. Blake will serve. This is the greatest sentence of all time. Are you ready for this? This might be one of the best sentences I've ever read. Are you ready? Are you ready, friends? Blake will serve her sentence in a men's prison. For now, by the way. Born in China, they came out as trans to their parents at a young age. Rowling has been vocal about gender identity issues on X in recent days after the publication of new guidelines for trans prisoners by Scottish Prison Service. The guidelines included allowing any transitioning prisoners to be admitted to female jails if they do not have a record of raising their hands against women. Have you seen how this actually works out? They do this in California, and there's tons of women that get pregnant every year from it. Now, I don't know if they were willing participants or what the situation was. The Harry Potter author wrote, "The trans activist outrage that ensues here on whatever I share my belief that jailed women should not be used as validation tools or emotional support props for trans-identified male offenders is as revealing as it is predictable. Such activists can't bring themselves to concede that a man who is convicted of harming women ought not to be incarcerated with a demographic to whom he is a proven danger. Because if they do, all their stock arguments, no predator would bother to pretend to be trans, no trans women have ever harmed a woman in a woman's only space, there's no danger in making, everything unisex, are exposed as the lies they are." I believe J.K. Rowling would be referred to by the gender crew as a TERF, as being on Team TERF, perhaps the head coach of Team TERF. She added, "If you're supporting putting unhinged and predatory men into women's prisons, then you are knowingly forcing those women to live in fear of, and in some proven cases, to suffer at the hands, and many of them will have to endure pre-incarceration." Absolutely 100% correct. Of course, faux outrage, partisan politics, and general transphobia aside, none of this affects Rowling in the slightest. What I think is great is if she had come out, if J.K. Rowling had come out and said, "Hey, put biological men in prison with biological females," all these same weirdos would be saying, "Yes, tell us more, tell us the truth, tell us what we need to know, everything is great. Please, J.K. Rowling's voice needs to be heard." But because she said, "Well, wait a minute here, maybe we shouldn't be putting these people in the same prison," then they're like, "Well, nobody cares about J.K. Rowling." And then also J.K. Rowling handled online troll in masterful fashion. The Harry Potter creator is getting used to a lot of backlash online because she routinely stands up for women. Rowling makes it clear that spaces meant for females shouldn't be invaded by males claiming to be women. She's held this line for years without any sign of backing down. That's made her a target of the woke mob. Apparently, a bookstore employee likes to hide her novels so they can't be purchased. This person wrote, "I would like J.K. Rowling to know that I work at a bookstore and I make sure to spine out her god-awful books as much as possible, rather than front-face them out. We don't promote transphobic and ableist trash while my queer rear end is around." Of course, having the stereotypical Free Palestine in the bio, got to have that flag in your bio. She should probably, Screeching Medusa should probably head on over to Palestine and see what they say about them. Well, Rowling didn't hesitate to return fire, but instead of escalating, she minimized the troll by joking that her career is now over because, checks notes, one random bookstore worker claims to hide their novels. You see this? That's it. My career is over. Now, J.K. Rowling did, not include their response. But there are 164,000 likes. By the way, there's also nothing about, trans ideology or either for or against it in the Harry Potter books. It's so insane to me. You see, we agreed we wouldn't make jokes about the flag anymore, Julie. While I've learned and grown and educated myself, you clearly haven't. I'm not angry. I'm just deeply disappointed. I mean, obviously, if there were only other ways you could buy the books. I mean, look, I don't want to, I want people to support local business as long as it's financially feasible. I've always said, hey, if the price is 10, 15% more, I hope people are in a position to buy local. If it's like double the price or absurdly expensive, I don't have any problem with people buying, from Amazon or any of these other places. But yeah, I don't think one random local bookstore selling Harry Potter books and having one random employee make them a little less hard to find is going to generate anything. This is the bookstore equivalent of self-immolating. Like it doesn't do anything. If what's going to happen is someone's going to come in and say, I'm looking for that new Harry Potter book or that Harry Potter book or whatever, and they're going to pull it up in their computer and they're going to see it's in stock and they're going to go find it. Like, I absolutely love that she's on this, like, just absolutely dunking on people. Crime statistics are rendered useless if these type of attacks committed by men are recorded as female crimes. Activists are already clamoring for this sadistic individual to be locked up in a women's prison. Ideologically driven misinformation is not journalism. Nothing wrong with wanting to protect women's spaces. I support J.K. Rowling in that. Now, I, like most people, have read more than one book in my life. It seems like a lot of the people who are terminally upset by her have only ever read Harry Potter books. But I'm here for it. I'm Team JK. That's 100% never gonna change. I love how she riles everyone up.